G'day, how's it going? Welcome back to Daily Endeavours for the 1st of September. It's the new month. Timestamps will be in the description, as always, if you just want to skip through. You're just looking for one of these options, you know how it is. With the new month, the daily rewards have reset. There's nothing really substantial. It's a pretty light month, this by the look of it. In the Crown Store Showcase, there's also no Crown Crates that are going to be coming out either. There is the Golden Pursuit halfway through the year, which will come out, and supposedly the new crate set will be replacing the Dragon Clash stuff soon, but there's no timer yet for this, so it will be a little bit longer. Yeah, just definitely seems a bit lighter than what I was expecting. I don't know. Anyway, not a big deal. So Endeavours themselves, pretty easy, 15 seal set. The 4 options here are good, I think, all of them. The award medals one, I wouldn't do this, mainly because, one, you've got to wait for a Battleground. You're waiting for other players to be ready. That usually takes a while. And getting 1,000 award medals, it's weird, right? So I see it like a catch-22 like logical fallacy with this. Is that right? Is that what they call it? Logical fallacy? Because if you're good enough to get 1,000 award medals in Battlegrounds, like reliably, the way to do that, you can check here in the help menu. If you just type in medal, it'll show you all the different medal types you can get from all the different game modes, Battlegrounds, Team Deathmatch, Capture the Relic Domination, all that stuff. Most of it is like play the objective and be competent at Battlegrounds, but the thing is, if you're able to reliably do these kinds of things in Battlegrounds, it's pretty certain that you'll also reliably be able to do these, and these are much faster, and you can do this on your own. So I just don't see a reason to try and do this in any case, because either you're not competent enough to do this, in which case you want to do these anyway, or you're competent enough and you'll be able to do these anyway faster as it is, and on your own. Like, that's what I mean. Like, anything where you can avoid having to rely on other people, I think this is better. So yeah, I'd just say avoid this one. I should also make a case for versus and plant creatures. There are wild hunt type creatures that you get in Infinite Archive that count as plant creatures. So if you want to do, I just suggest doing this one first in case you do get them. But it's pretty, it's unreliable. If you just want to do these 3 instead, that'll be usually quicker. Alright, start off with picking locks. So you can use doors or chests for this. I have one really good doorway, and I also have an okay chestway, so I'll go through them both. In Skywatch here, the middle of Oridon, this place has 3 doorways that are always locked, and they have simple locks, so they're easy to get through. You've got this house here, this one here, and this one here. So the only issue you'll have is there are guards that will patrol, but what you want to make sure is, firstly, just have a quick look around, make sure if there's none coming, and then start the lockpicking game, and then if you see the eye open up at the bottom with the hidden icon, just exit out of the lockpicking screen and just make sure the guard's not coming towards you, because they will rock up at the door, and what they'll do is they'll come over to these 2 here, this one and this one. They'll come up and then they'll turn around. Now, as soon as they turn around and look the other way, you can continue on picking the locks. So that's the only part where you have to be careful, because otherwise, yeah, the guards will see you get a bounty, and yeah, it's not great for being around here, because there are guards everywhere. Yeah, guards don't usually come up to this one here. They do come past, but yeah, they don't stick around. Yeah, just open up these doors, and that'll be all 3 locks picked. And that's that endeavor done. This house here, you can use in home tours to get here for the first time if you don't have the sway on yet. You don't have to own this house. If you go to home tours, you look up the house, it's just here. So travel to one of these, doesn't matter which one, go out the door. This will bring you to Skywatch without you having to walk all the way there. So it's handy and convenient for today's endeavor. There are also crafting stations here which you can use for your refining raw materials as well, if you want to use that. I'll discuss that later, but I just want to make sure I cover both the picking lock strategies that I suggest. The other one is public dungeons. Okay, for a lore-friendly alternative, LAW, using chests in Overland or public dungeons or group dungeons, these can work too. You need 3, so my advice is to use a public dungeon, because in most cases you're going to find tons of these things all over the place. To give you a bit more of a a advantage on this, I'm going to link in the description a bunch of Imgur posts which provide you the maps for a few public dungeons that I personally recommend doing because of the sets that you can get, or in one of the cases for a mythic lead that you can get. This is Western Skyrim. You need the Greymore DLC for this one. The other options are base game, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, this gives you Venomous Smite, which is a good medium armor, just like damage dealer proc set. It's easy to use. It does decent damage, so it's just good on just like generic characters you just want to use as damage dealers. There is also Resurrect's Wheel in Bankriot. This gives you a lead for the Ring of the Pale Order mythic, which is honestly one of the most important mythics I think you should have if you can have any. You need one of them you need Markarth for as a DLC, but yeah, Resurrect's Wheel is one of the places, and this has got lots of chests everywhere. Twin Arches is the quickest way to get here if you haven't been here before, through Huntwars. There's also Obsidian Scar and Rivenspire. This gives you Darkstride, which is what I personally use for my Vampirism sprint build that I used to just go full speed on foot and be invisible and shit. Yeah, quickest way here, Ravenhurst, again, just using Home Tours. The last one is Forgotten Crypts for Mother Sorrow. I'm sure most people know that set. This is like a good Magicka crit set. It's good on damage dealer builds. Quickest way here would either being Velocity Reverie or just, yeah, entering to Shine at all. You unlock this way Shine here, and you can just easy access to it from that point. Yeah, whatever way works here, it's fine. Okay, next up is refining raw materials 5 times. So 5 amounts of raw materials is 50. You can only refine at a minimum 5 at a time. So in this case, just make sure the quantity here says 5. I got that wrong. You refine 10 at a time, not 5 at a time. I got my numbers mixed up. Raw materials. My suggestion here is to get some rough wood, because that tends to be way cheaper than any of the other options. So let me show you. So yeah, wood is about 9 or 7 gold, depending on which one you get. Some of them might be more expensive, like the middle ground ones. Yeah, Rubidite, you can see it's almost 3 times as expensive. Iron ore's notoriously, or not notoriously, like significantly cheaper than Rubidite. But yeah, they're both much more expensive than wood. And then cloth materials are quite expensive as well. Rawhide's not too bad, but yeah, Ancestor Silk and Rubido is quite expensive. It's like 7 or 8 times more expensive than wood. And then jewelry is the worst, especially Platinum Seam. That stuff still sells for a fuck ton. So if you have a look here, yeah, 105 gold a piece. So over 10 times as expensive as wood per item. So just use wood. That's my suggestion. You could also use maybe use like pulverized jewelry materials, but I find them to be not as common as wood materials usually. So yeah, my personal preference, just use wood. There's nothing better. For rough materials to buy on guild stores for this endeavor, you just go to materials and yeah, just whichever one, and then raw material here. Because yeah, you have to refine it and then it turns into normal material. So yeah, as you can see here, some rough wood for 15 gold, that's still a lot. 40 gold for a rough piece, that's way too much. Never look at the total price, always look at the unit price here. Because yeah, you could be paying a small amount, but it could be a lot per item. Yeah, 16 gold is still a bit too much. I wouldn't go anything more than like maybe 11 or 10 gold each. Last thing to mention is with surveys. If you've got a survey in your inventory, you can use these because they give you at least around 110 to 120 of each like raw material, aside from the alchemist or the enchanting ones, which they're not going to be useful to you today. But the durable sort of surveys are good. The only issue is if you don't have any and you've done all your writs today, don't buy them, because it is much more expensive buying the unidentified surveys than it is to just buy some rough wood. Yeah, just doing that instead. Alright, now looking at Infinite Archive for your stages. Oh, sorry, getting your verses. You do stages, doesn't take long, probably a couple of minutes each, 2 to 3. So yeah, this one will be quite quick compared to cycle bosses the other day. So to find Infinite Archive, it's here in the Apocrypha zone. although this requires the Necrom DLC to access normally, the Infinite Archive itself is a base game option. You can access this regardless of what DLC you own. So yeah, you can find it here at Apocrypha, the top left of the world map. And yeah, you just travel here and you can go in. Right, so you head through this door in order to access the archive. You'll get a quest from this guy. You can accept it if you want for future endeavors, but you aren't going to get far enough to be able to complete the quest for this. So yeah, it's not super important. So this here is a stage. So there'll be 3 waves of regular enemies, just like typical NPCs or enemies you'll find in like dungeons and trials and stuff. So for example, you got some Dremora here. There'll always be a ranged enemy in the first wave. So my advice is find the ranged enemy where they are located and put your dots down on them, because the melee enemies will come to you, but it just allows you to put all your dots down in the same like single spot and kill everything efficiently. Right, so some of these enemies might be plant creatures. That's what you're looking for. Interrupt enemies when they do interruptible channels. Be careful for heavy attacks. Block them. And certain enemies have like special interesting attacks, like the hags, for example, have like a reflect. Yeah, it's just like usually generic shit. Alright, negates. Try to focus conduits as well a lot, because they're the ones who put negates on the ground. It can be very annoying. Right, so this here, when you complete a stage, this is the verses that you get. So these are what you need. So these are powerful buffs that last a single stage. So this verse that you get now will help you for the next stage to do that one even quicker. Try to get like the damage ones, because generally in the first archive stages, it's pretty easy to survive. So just being able to do these quicker is always good. Fire Orb is pretty great. Kills enemies super quick. Okay, just check if you get any plant creatures. None here. Vanguards are a bit of a weird one. Have to make sure I can interrupt this guy. If you let them do their channel, they fucking become really hard to kill. They take ages to kill. Oh yeah, so here's the Fire Orb. This is the verse that we got. I'm gonna use this to absolutely wreck this guy. Oh, I ran out of the worst time. It'll take a few seconds for it to come back. But yeah, once it kicks in, it does a ton of damage. Alright, so every third wave of a stage tends to have a tougher enemy. Not always, but yeah, most of the time it does. Most of the time I will focus the little enemies, unless I've got like a powerful verse like that. Because yeah, the little enemies, just clearing all them makes fighting the big enemy usually much easier. Yeah, so that's it. So we got our second verse, we're done here, so we can leave. So in order to leave this place, what you do is you go to the next one. So you'll get to the boss now. You can fight the boss if you want. Rajkachin's pretty straightforward. But this archive index is how you get back to the foyer. So you use this to get back, and then the portal is here to get out. You can also just travel to one of your houses that you own as well, if you just want to get straight out from the stages. Okay, plant creatures. So probably one of the easiest sources of plant creatures in this game to access are the lurchers in the Vale of the Guardians here. But I don't like relying on this one too much, because this is an overland area and other people are going to be doing the same thing. So if these people here kill the lurchers when you get here, you're going to have to wait for them to respawn. It can take a while for you to actually do this. What I would suggest you do is unlock City of Ash 2, because the first area of City of Ash 2 is really good, because one, it's instanced, so no matter what's going on, no matter how many players are out here trying to kill the ones in the Vale of the Guardians, your version of City of Ash 2 will be untouched. You'll be able to go straight in and kill them when you're ready. But I'll just go through some other ones here. So Grotwood and like Green Shade, Malabar Tor, these places are full of stranglers, just like in just random places. But yeah, spawn in like groups of 1 or 2, and they're a bit sporadic. Another good option is the Too Small Gully group event. It's like 9 Spriggans and a Strangler, so that could also be quite handy. But yeah, honestly, nothing comes close to City of Ash 2. This is what I suggest. That's what I use. Alright, so here we are in City of Ash 2. Now, ignore the initial Sench targets that you'll see there. Come down this river instead. The reason for this is you jump down here, don't go too far because you'll hit the thing and die. Come down here, just walk off. Don't sprint. So there are 2 stranglers here. There's another one over there, and there's another bunch of stranglers further on. So these count as plant creatures, so you can use these. A little bit tanky, but because you're only fighting a few of them at a time, it shouldn't really be a problem for you. That's 2. Got another one here. Alright, got another group here. Now, for some reason, this crocodile pulls if you attack this one first, so just attack that one first. I don't know why. Very, very bizarre. Weird targeting system, but yeah. And that's all the plant creatures you need, because that's 5. There's more there, but yeah, that's all you need. They're the closest ones to get to. Alright, let me show you how to get here if you haven't been here before, because it is a little bit of a trek to start with. As soon as you unlock it, you can then travel to it from a wayshrine at any point. So it's just the one initial trek, and then you're good to go from this point on whenever plant creatures come up. So start off going to Home Tours, browse homes, and you want to look for Cliff Shade, this one here. Travel to this house, any of them, doesn't matter which one. It's all free, regardless of which one you choose. You just can't, you can't travel to it via the home preview system, because it'll just take you to where you ported in from. But this takes you to Green Shade. Alright, once you get here, leave the home, go out the door, you'll be in Green Shade now. So from here, it's just a little bit of a trek north, through the gate here, through here, there's some enemies here and some enemies here, but you can avoid most of them. Just depends on how quick your mount is, really. So to Durladan Pass. So this is the area with enemies. So I like to come up this way, over here, jump over here, and try and hit that wooden post, because that launches you above the spikes. And yeah, so that's basically all the enemies there avoided. Up here, there's some more enemies in the surrounding destroyed like Wood Elf settlement, but yeah, just stick to the left. That usually skips all the enemies. And here we are. So this is City of Ash 2. Once you get to this point, you can now access Return to Ash, and from now you'll be able to go in and just kill the plant creatures whenever that endeavor comes up, and you can travel to it from a wayshrine too, like I said. Okay, that's endeavors done. You have any questions for me or anything you want to add? I'm sure there's other good planned options out there, but this is just what I prefer. But yeah, other than that, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. Weekly will be out soon. Take care for now. I'll see you next time.